Hi, I'm Sheena, and today I'm going to show you how to achieve this beautiful glam look. It is super easy. Now this is really great for hooded eyes. I have hooded eyes, and I'm going to take you through some really great techniques that will help to give your hooded eyes a beautiful lift. And I'm also going to show you a fantastic lip hack that will give your lips a really nice, fuller, more lush look. So don't forget that if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. So I already actually have foundation on. Now it may look like I don't, but I really want this to be a beautiful natural glam, as I've already mentioned. I'm wearing the Huda Beauty stick foundation. I love this so much. The reason I love this foundation is that it just melts seamlessly into my skin, giving my skin the look of really almost wearing no foundation. It's buildable if I really want to, but I like to keep it relatively sheer. I would say it's a medium coverage. I would wear this more than any other foundation I have, except for the Trinity London BFF De-Stress Serum, which I wear during the day for an uber natural look. So today I'm going to use a concealer, which comes highly recommended, and I managed to get my hands on it. It is called Koza. I'm not really sure how they pronounce that, to be honest. This concealer is probably, for around the eye area, is probably the best all-round concealer I have used, and it's really great on mature skin, which we love. So I'm just going to apply this to my lids and also under my eyes. And I just start by patting that in, working that in with my fingers. And just remember, you know, we get very dark in the corner of our eyes, which can get quite discolored and be aging, and also on the outer corner of our eyes as well. And so we want to work on that outer corner to remove that dark shadow. And now I've just patted that in, I've just warmed that into my skin with my fingers. That is all I am going to do at the moment there. Very simple. That is a fantastic product. Right, the next step to avoid creasing under your eyes and your lids is to use a powder to set that concealer. And I use the IT Bye Pores pressed powder. Honestly, you can use any powder you like. I just kind of like this powder because it's a multi-purpose powder. So I'm just going to run that across my top lids and under my eye area. Now, just a thing with using this powder under your eye area, there is a payoff between keeping the concealer under your eyes from creasing, because it will settle into fine lines and make those lines look worse. And also when you apply powder, it can draw a little bit of attention to the lines as well. So just don't be too heavy-handed. However, in saying that, I would really rather have the powder under my eyes than having a concealer settling into the lines. And also too, of course, it also helps if you've got powder under there to stop any of your mascara smudging underneath your eyes. And likewise, if you've got hooded eyes, make sure you powder well up in this area here, because if your eyelashes hit this top part, you'll get a lot of smudging with mascara if it's not powdered well. So I'm just going to apply this powder now to my lids. Now, just before you apply the powder, check your lid again. I don't know whether you can see, but I think this is creased just a fraction here. So either just repat it with your finger, or you can just use a cotton tip to make sure that you haven't got anything gathering in your lines, because if you put powder on top of that, you're going to be setting the concealer that has settled into your lines. And I just take that actually basically right up to my brows. Okay, so the same for the under eye area. Just check that very carefully that that hasn't in the meantime got any concealer that settled into your lines. You know, we know this happens, don't we, with our mature eyes, because it's a very mobile area and it can happen quite quickly. I'm just using a really fantastic flat brush here to work that powder in. And always remember to make sure that you have actually used some eye cream before you start applying anything like this around the eyes, because we want to keep the eyes very hydrated. Okay, so I like to apply a lighter kind of creamy shade across my lid and just working it up to this area here, because it helps whatever I'm applying next to have a more true color. It gives it more ability to show what the color is. Otherwise it can really fade away if you're just applying it straight on your natural skin color. So I am using the Too Faced matte natural palette. I use this a lot, and I'm just going to use this really creamy color that you see here. And I'm just using just a really cheap little brush I've got here, and I'm just applying that across my lid area. So just remember that the technique behind applying any makeup is that dark makes things that you don't want to see recede or causes shadow, and light things bring things forward. So any light shade, anything shimmery will bring that forward, make it more prominent on your face. So the next thing I'm going to use is my bronzer, basically for my eyeshadow, more or less. I love doing this. It's super easy, and it gives the skin a beautiful kind of all over look, kind of everything works together. So I'm using the Tarte bronzer. I'm taking this brush here, and it's got quite a fluffy end to it. So all I'm going to do is apply that to my area that is here. This part of my lid that is hanging down, actually. It's a puffy area. So if I'm looking straight ahead, that is my area that is hanging down on my eye. And this is what you would call a transition shade. It's a medium color that matches your skin tone. And the best way to apply it actually is to look straight ahead into the mirror, and you can see, and don't raise your eyebrows, and look straight ahead and just kind of work that in to that area, and just use sweeping movements just to make sure that it is really well blended, and work that into the area that is hanging down, that hooded part of your eye. And already that's just starting to give me a little bit of shape there. And next I'm just going to take the other end of that brush and just run that underneath my eye. Right, next I'm just going to take a light shimmery color from Charlotte Tilbury palette, and I'm just going to use this light one here, and I'm just going to run that across my lids all the way across right into the corner, just using my finger. Now if you've got hooded eyes, often you do not have a lot of lid space, so the idea is that you keep those lids nice and light, because if you make them dark, it's just going to make that area look very heavy, which is what we don't want. So having done that, very simple. You can take a darker color. I quite like to do this, and that's just going to pop into the outer corner of my eyes. And I'm using that Too Faced palette again, and I am going to use this shade here, and that will just get placed in the outer corner of my eye, and that is really beautiful for hooded eyes. And like everything when you're applying eye makeup, make sure you blend well. Right, I'm just going to line my upper lids now just along the top lash line, and this is really important if you have hooded eyes, because what you want to do is keep any liner you are using really close to your lash line, because again, you don't want to use up that valuable space, that visible space you've got on your mobile part of your lid. So if I don't know whether I can do this properly, but if I look at you directly, really the only part of my mobile lid that you see is this area here. It's another reason that it's really important to keep that area nice and light. That's where you'll see my sparkle. So I'm using the Natasha Denona. This is a gel liner, and I'm using a angled brush to apply that, and just dipping that in and running that right across the top of my lash line there. And this will help to give my lashes some depth and definition at the base. Now I don't take that all the way down, I only take that to where my last eyelash actually finishes, because I don't want to drag my eye down at all. Right, so the eyeliner is added, and before I actually go any further, I always really like to do my brows, because they do frame the eye after all. I use the Gimme Brow Benefits product. I like to use this in the mini form because I find it much easier to actually control. It's a tiny little brush, see that? It's fantastic. And that just brushes through, literally brushes through your brows, and this helps to color the hairs if you are going a little bit grey or they are blonde, this is fantastic. I like to add a little bit of pencil if I am doing this kind of look because I like to add the extra definition. The pencil I love to use is the Anastasia Beverly Hills pencil, the Brow Wiz, and I will just quickly fill in any gaps that I have and make sure that that is just brushed out so that they look nice and fluffy. Okay, so I'm just going to add my mascara now. I'm using the Marc Jacobs Velvet Noir Mascara, but I think this is actually being discontinued. But of course I am using the eyelash curlers. This is a must if you have hooded eyes. So the way to do it is to get really close to your, I'm watching in the mirror because you know I don't want to crack my eyelids here. Go right close to your lid and squeeze 1 2 3 and work up, squeeze 1 2 3 and work up, squeeze 1 2 3. So get the mascara really close to your lash line, close to the base of your lashes. Next I'm going to apply the YSL Touche Eclat just to tidy up this area here that when you apply eyeshadow on hooded eyes, quite often if you're not using a guide, quite often just use a brush. If you're not using a guide, the eyeshadow can end up down here, which will drag the eye down. So I'm going to use this product here to give my eye a lift from that corner, and I'm just going to pat that in. So if you're wondering where that guide should be, that line, that sweep should be, it goes from, and these are quite a good idea to use if you can use a credit card, it just goes on the tail of your outside of your brow and it goes to the edge of your eye here. And so that is the angle at which I would run the corrective concealer up if I have got eyeshadow going where I don't want it to be. Next, I'm just going to add some warmth to my face. I am going to use the same bronzer that I used around my eye area, and that just goes through my hairline. I'm brushing that across my cheeks because this is a healthy glow, right? And I'm going to take that under my chin as well and just around my jawline because, you know, as we get older, the jaw, the saggy jaw, you know, this starts to happen. So it's quite nice to try and just redefine that with a bit of bronzer and just take that down the neck a little bit to make sure that we don't have any marks between the face and the neck. And I don't like to take foundation onto my neck because I think it looks very obvious and I really don't want foundation all over my clothes. And I find a little bit of bronzer gives me a really nice way to blend that in. Right, for those of you who have got an oily T-zone like me, I will now use my pressed powder again, and I'm just going to use that across my oily T-zone area to make sure that that doesn't get uber shiny. And sometimes I even just take a big brush like this and just dust it all over my face because I know as I get hotter that my natural oils are going to come through and I'm going to get my own beautiful glow. Now, if you have dry skin, you can skip this step. Just be mindful that if you're going to apply a powder blusher, it is quite difficult to apply powder on top of a cream. So a little bit of powder across the areas where you're going to apply blusher is a great idea. So I'm just going to use the NARS blusher, the very famous one. The color is called Orgasm. One day I'll buy myself a full size. And I'm using this color because I'm going to be finishing with a special color lipstick. And if you've watched my blusher tutorial, just be very careful in how you apply your blusher, that you don't bring it too low on your cheeks because that will drag your face down, make this area potentially look hollow, especially if you're using a really vibrant color or a deep color. The idea is with everything we do in our mature faces is that we want to drag everything up, including our cheeks. So that is just applied to the tops of my cheeks. And this just gives a beautiful flush of color. Quite often I like to just take a little bit around this area here because that gives me that all over healthy glow. Now I haven't quite finished with my cheeks, because what I do like to do when I'm doing this kind of makeup is add a little bit of highlight, and I love the Huda Beauty highlight palette. So I'm just going to take my highlighter brush and use this color here, a little bit of that gold, and just dust that across my cheeks. This is going to give a really beautiful, beautiful radiant finish. I'm going to take this very, very soft color here and just put that just on the apples of my cheeks. And this is just a hint of color that gives a really pretty healthy glow. Now you can just leave your lashes like that or apply some false lashes, and I'm going to use the Ardell Wispies. I've already taken them out of the packet. You know, the idea with false eyelashes, if you can get the hang of them, they are amazing on hooded eyes, is to make sure that you give them a very nice bend before you apply them so that they contour to the shape of your eye. The other thing too is to use lots of glue, and to make sure that before you apply it, if it's tacky, so you need to wait around 30 seconds before you begin to apply the lashes. Now these are quite a kind of natural looking lash, even so they will have quite a big impact on my eyes when I apply them. If you've got amazing lashes, you don't even need to worry about this. So mine are not too bad, but I really love the effect of false eyelashes on hooded eyes. So I've applied quite a lot of glue there. I'm just going to wait for that to get tacky. Okay, I'm just going to apply that lash now and place that on my lids, making sure that is well pushed down. And then I just use a brush to just apply a little bit of pressure to make sure that is adhered well in both corners, because those are the parts of the lash that you often find want to lift. Look at the difference. It is amazing, really amazing wearing false eyelashes. They just give you so much glam, instant glam. You don't even really need much eyeshadow on or eye makeup at all. So it's all about the top lids and the lashes. Now, as mentioned, if you don't want to apply false eyelashes, that is absolutely fine. They are fantastic for hooded eyes, and I've already mentioned that because they particularly hide the area of our eyes that gets droopy on this outer corner. So just to finish off the eyes, a couple of really fantastic tricks. Firstly, I'm going to add just a smidge of highlighter below the brow. I'm using Charlotte Tilbury, and I'm just going to use the light color that you see here. And I'm just applying a tiny bit of that just in that area that is the arch of the brow. Not a lot. Be very careful with this, because if you take this too low, it is going to make this heavy area here, this prominent area, look more prominent. The other thing to do, which I really love to do, and I'm going to use the Charlotte Tilbury shimmery color again to do this, which is this color here, and I'm going to apply that into the corner of my eye, that kind of tear trough area, and I kind of blend that up because it really gives the eyes a beautiful kind of more open look. And then really importantly, I check under my eyes again to make sure that I haven't got any creasing happening. God, I'm really dehydrated today, you know. I have got crepey under eye area, and I'm just applying underneath just to really make sure that that area underneath my eyes where I've applied the concealer is properly set and is crease free. You know, I've taken that little cotton bud, worked that area, and I'm using the very fantastic cult product by Laura Mercier. It is the eye brightening powder, and running that and tapping off the excess into the lid and running that under my eyes. Now, if you want to, you can with this look add some mascara to the bottom lashes. This lipstick hack is amazing. This will give your lips volume. I'm going to do it in red because this is the look that I wanted to show you. And here's what you do. So I'm going to bring my mirror right in front of me so I can see what I'm doing, because if this goes wrong, it's going to look crazy bad. Here are my lips as normal. I don't have very big lips. You know, they're not filled with anything at all, but watch this. What you do is this, and then you apply your lip liner. So now I've got the perfect outline, and it has really made my lips look fuller already. And all I need to do now is add the finishing touch, which is red lipstick. And look at my lips now, don't they look amazing? It is the best hack I have ever used. I use it every single day, makes my lips look plumper, even though I haven't got any filler or anything in them. Fantastic, easy. And last but definitely not least, if you want to increase the look of the size of your lips to make them look plumper, is a little bit of lip gloss, and I'm using Anastasia Beverly Hills. I love this color so much, love this product. And I just add it to the center of my top and bottom lip. And I just work that in. And that's me all done. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know if you did. And if so, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. I haven't done a makeup video for ages. So apologies if I am a little bit rough. I'm also doing this in natural light, so let me know whether you prefer that. So just a very quick recap of what I have done. Basically just a light wash over the eyes, a creamy eyelid color, eyeshadow color, the sparkly color just going across my mobile part of my lids. I've used my bronzer to create some shape there, not another color, just the bronzer through this area here. And then a slightly deeper color just on the outer corner. I took the bronzer underneath my eyelashes as well, my lower lashes. I lined the top of my lids with a liquid liner very close to the lashes. I applied 2 coats of mascara. I used an eyelash curler, very important. You don't need to apply lashes, as I've said, but it's a really fantastic idea if you can master that with hooded lids. And you can get little wee ones that just go on the outer corner, which are really, really fantastic if you can't handle the full size lashes. I have defined my brows and made those slightly darker than I normally would because that works with my lashes. I have just got a really natural looking foundation on, which is a Huda Stick foundation. I used blusher, a little bit of bronzer, and then I used some highlighter to give a beautiful glow on the face. And then I used that lipstick hack, which really makes the lips look amazing. Don't they look amazing? My lips look really great now. So again, thanks for watching. I hope to see you next time.